She's sitting across from you. Maybe it's a first date. Maybe it's your wife of 20 years. But you see it, that look. The one that freezes your blood. It's not a flash of anger. You could handle anger. It's not disgust. You could fight disgust. It's something far more devastating, far more final: indifference. It's the silent, complete, clinical absence of respect. You are talking, performing, making your case, but she has already mentally checked out. The audience has left the building, and you're still shouting at the empty seats. This isn't about being nice. This isn't about money or looks. This is the silent killer in every relationship, the universal expression that precedes every single woman walking away from a man, from the girlfriend who stops returning calls to the wife who starts sleeping in the guest room. They all share that same look of quiet, unshakable disappointment. They expected a man. They got a performer. Today, we are opening the aphorism archive to dissect the exact psychological profile that creates this indifference. Because there's one specific type of man every woman will always respect, and if you are not that man, you will spend your life fighting an uphill battle, begging for the one thing you can only earn: respect. In the brutal economy of human attraction, there is one currency that is both the rarest and the most valuable: self-mastery. Most men are walking around emotionally bankrupt. They spend their impulses like drunk gamblers at a casino. They chase every fleeting desire. They rage when someone cuts them off in traffic. They can't resist the urge to show off their achievements like a peacock spreading feathers at a funeral. Women observe this behavior with the same cold, detached analysis that an economist watches a market crash. It's predictable. It's destructive. And, most importantly, it reveals a fundamental weakness in the system. A man who cannot control his own desires is broadcasting his incompetence as a leader. He is showing the world that he operates on the same emotional level as a child who sees a candy bar in the checkout line and must have it now. Here is the brutal, simple mathematics of respect. A man who cannot govern himself will never be trusted to govern anything else. Not a household, not a crisis, not a future. This is the bedrock of feminine respect. Women understand this equation instinctively. The man who commands respect has learned to treat his impulses not as masters that must be obeyed, but as wild horses that need to be tamed and directed. When she cancels plans at the last minute, he doesn't spiral into emotional manipulation. He simply acknowledges the change and suggests an alternative. He is stable. When a beautiful woman walks by, he notices, but his focus remains on his chosen conversation and companion. He is selective. When a colleague insults him, he doesn't explode. He processes the information and responds with strategic clarity, not emotional heat. He is in control. This isn't suppression. It's strategic choice. The respected man feels the same impulses as everyone else, but he has built an internal democracy where his higher self, his values, his mission, his future, gets the final vote on what his lowest self suggests. Women sense this internal organization like they sense approaching storms. They can distinguish between choices made from strength and choices made from weakness. And they respond accordingly. Every relationship operates on an invisible exchange rate between self-respect and other respect. If you don't value your own currency, why should anyone else accept it as payment? If you don't believe in your own worth, you are asking others to make an investment that even you won't make in yourself. Most men approach relationships like desperate salesmen trying to move inventory they don't believe in. They are constantly offering discounts on their boundaries, running clearance sales on their standards, and practically giving away their principles for the slim chance of temporary approval. This creates the relationship equivalent of inflation. The more of yourself you are willing to trade for her attention, the less each piece of yourself becomes worth. You are devaluing your own currency. The man who earns respect operates by the gold standard. He has established his own internal baseline and refuses to devalue his currency, regardless of market conditions. He has rules he doesn't break. When she suggests ditching his scheduled workout for a spontaneous movie, he declines without drama or lengthy explanation. He smiles, says, "I appreciate the offer, but I committed to this today. I'm all yours afterward." When a text message argument starts late at night, he says, "We can talk about this in the morning when we're both calm. I need my sleep to function at my best." This sends a profound economic signal: my priorities do not shift based on your temporary desires. I am not running a democracy where every passing one gets to vote on my fundamental values. I have established institutional integrity that remains stable. The woman witnesses this consistency and her brain performs rapid-fire calculations. If he abandons his own priorities for small pleasures now, what happens when life presents bigger challenges? If his foundation shifts based on her suggestion, what happens when real pressure hits? When you respect yourself first, you become the man whose confidence is built on his own foundation, rather than borrowed from her approval. You are no longer asking her to provide structural support for your self-esteem. Instead, you are inviting her to appreciate an already complete, self-sustaining architecture. Every woman, consciously or unconsciously, becomes a scientist when she enters a relationship. She needs to know what she's dealing with. She needs to understand his breaking point, his consistency level, and his authenticity index. So, she creates small, continuous experiments designed to reveal his true psychological structure. She doesn't announce these tests, but they happen with the inevitability of gravity. She'll make an unreasonable request to see if he'll compromise his boundaries. She'll create minor drama or a slight argument to observe how he handles stress. She'll withdraw attention for a day or two to discover whether his confidence depends on her validation. She'll present a challenge or an unexpected problem to determine whether his strength is performance or reality. Most men fail these assessments before they even realize they are being evaluated. They either snap back with defensive aggression. "You can't talk to me like that." Fold into accommodating weakness. "I'm so sorry. What can I do to fix it?" Both responses communicate the same devastating message: I am not in control of my internal weather. My emotional climate depends entirely on external conditions. The respected man, however, is a lighthouse. He remains steady. Imagine she makes a snide comment about his appearance or a career choice. The weak man either explodes in insecurity or crumbles in self-doubt. The respected man responds with calm confidence: "I dress this way because it works for who I am," or "I chose this career because it aligns with my mission." No defensiveness. No need to prove anything. No emotional temperature change. Just steady acknowledgement and quiet certainty. This consistency under pressure communicates something far more important than any words: I am the same person regardless of the circumstances. You can trust my stability because it doesn't depend on favorable conditions. Women are determining, unconsciously, if he will be a source of strength during difficult times, or just another problem that needs managing when the storms of life arrive. The man who passes the pressure tests proves he's not a ship tossed by the waves, but the rock on which she can depend. In the attention marketplace, men who make women their entire business model always go bankrupt. When your whole world revolves around one person, you create an economic system where all your value depends on a single customer. This makes you desperately vulnerable to manipulation, pathetic for approval, and ultimately, boring to the very person you're trying to impress. Women instinctively understand this principle. They recognize when a man has built his entire psychological infrastructure around their approval. They can sense when his mood, his plans, his identity, and his purpose all hinge on their reactions. And rather than feeling flattered by this total focus, they feel burdened by the responsibility and suspicious of the sustainability. The man who commands respect has diversified his portfolio of meaning. He has a mission that extends beyond any relationship. He has projects that genuinely matter to him. He has goals that drive him out of bed every morning. He has interests that fascinate him. When she calls, he's genuinely happy to hear from her. But when she doesn't call, his world continues operating at full capacity because she was never its sole power source. This creates the irresistible psychological paradox: the man who needs her least often gets chosen most. When your path remains solid regardless of her participation, she relaxes into the relationship because she knows you're going somewhere meaningful with or without her. She is an appreciated passenger, not the driver responsible for creating the destination. The mission-driven man communicates through his actions. I would love to include you in my adventure, but right now, I have important work to do. This isn't rejection, it's a profound invitation. He's not pushing her away, he's demonstrating that he is worth following. Women don't just respect a man like this, they admire him. They see a man who has found something worth dedicating his life to, and they want to understand the conviction that makes that possible. They are attracted not to your availability, but to your purpose. Every woman, consciously or unconsciously, becomes a scientist when she enters a relationship. She needs to know what she's dealing with. She needs to understand his breaking point, his consistency level, and his authenticity index. So, she creates small, continuous experiments designed to reveal his true psychological structure. She doesn't announce these tests, but they happen with the inevitability of gravity. She'll make an unreasonable request to see if he'll compromise his boundaries. She'll create minor drama or a slight argument to observe how he handles stress. She'll withdraw attention for a day or two to discover whether his confidence depends on her validation. She'll present a challenge or an unexpected problem to determine whether his strength is performance or reality. Most men fail these assessments before they even realize they are being evaluated. They either snap back with defensive aggression. You can't talk to me like that. Fold into accommodating weakness. I'm so sorry. What can I do to fix it? Both responses communicate the same devastating message. I am not in control of my internal weather. My emotional climate depends entirely on external conditions. The respected man, however, is a lighthouse. He remains steady. Imagine she makes a snide comment about his appearance or a career choice. The weak man either explodes in insecurity or crumbles in self-doubt. The respected man responds with calm confidence. I dress this way because it works for who I am, or I chose this career because it aligns with my mission. No defensiveness. No need to prove anything. No emotional temperature change. Just steady acknowledgement and quiet certainty. This consistency under pressure communicates something far more important than any words. I am the same person regardless of the circumstances. You can trust my stability because it doesn't depend on favorable conditions. Women are determining, unconsciously, if he will be a source of strength during difficult times, or just another problem that needs managing when the storms of life arrive. The man who passes the pressure tests proves he's not a ship tossed by the waves, but the rock on which she can depend. True authority can never be demanded. It emerges from internal sources rather than external validation. The man who has to demand respect is essentially admitting that he doesn't naturally command it. He is asking for something he hasn't earned through his own development. Demanding respect is like demanding attraction. The very act of demanding reveals the absence of the quality being requested. It's insecurity wearing the costume of strength. Women can detect this performance from a mile away. The man who commands respect never has to announce his authority because it radiates from every aspect of his presence. It's in how he carries himself through space. It's in the tone of his voice when he speaks, calm, measured, not seeking approval. It's in his ability to make decisions without seeking constant approval. It's in his ability to remain calm when others become emotional. When he enters a room, he doesn't bark demands or make a show of his importance. He simply indicates his preferences with quiet confidence and expects reasonable accommodation. His authority comes from self-knowledge, not the need to prove anything to observers. This creates what economists call network effects. His confidence generates confidence in others. People naturally defer to someone who seems comfortable with leadership, not because they fear him, but because they trust his judgment. This quiet strength suggests competence without aggression, and leadership without domination. The respected man knows who he is, and that knowledge becomes infectious. Others begin seeing him through his own eyes, rather than trying to figure out who he's pretending to be. This authenticity is magnetically attractive because it is so incredibly rare in a world full of people performing versions of themselves they think others want to see. Character development works like compound interest. Small, consistent investments made over long periods create exponential returns that seem impossible to achieve through single, dramatic gestures. The respected man understands this and makes daily deposits into his character account. He shows up when he says he will, not just when it's convenient. He keeps the promises he makes to himself, not just the promises he makes to others. He maintains his standards when nobody's watching, not just when performance matters. He does the right thing when it costs him something, not just when it benefits him. These small consistencies accumulate into massive credibility over time. Women watch this pattern and begin to trust not just his current behavior, but his future behavior. They see evidence that he operates from principle rather than convenience, from character rather than circumstance. This man becomes increasingly attractive as time passes because his value appreciates rather than depreciates. Unlike physical appearance that fades or status that fluctuates, character strength continues growing throughout his lifetime. The investments he makes in his integrity, wisdom, courage, and authenticity pay dividends for decades. This creates a fundamental difference in relationship dynamics. While other men are trying to maintain attraction through external factors that naturally diminish over time, the respected man is building attraction through internal factors that naturally strengthen with age and experience. He has also learned to diversify his sources of masculine value so his confidence doesn't depend on any single area. If his job is stressful, his purpose remains intact because it's supported by his physical training. If he faces physical challenges, his confidence doesn't collapse because it's supported by his intellectual and emotional investments. This diversification creates anti-fragility. He becomes a man who gets stronger when external circumstances challenge him, rather than breaking. This is the ultimate promise of psychological security that every woman is unconsciously shopping for. At its core, respect flows towards sovereignty. The man who governs himself according to his own chosen principles, rather than being governed by external pressures, temporary emotions, or other people's expectations, is the man who wins. This sovereignty isn't selfishness. It's self-possession. It's having internalized standards that remain consistent regardless of who is watching or what they think. The sovereign man doesn't ask permission to be himself. He operates from internal authority rather than seeking external authorization for his existence. This sovereignty communicates the ultimate attractive message: I am who I am by choice, not by accident. You can trust me because I trust myself. The man who embodies these principles doesn't just succeed in relationships, he disrupts the entire marketplace. He changes what women expect from men by demonstrating what is actually possible. He proves that respect isn't something you demand, manipulate, or negotiate for. It's something you earn through consistent demonstration of a character that makes respect the natural response. He shows that attraction isn't about perfect genetics or unlimited resources. It's about becoming someone worth following, worth choosing, and worth respecting. The woman who experiences this kind of man has her standards permanently elevated. She can no longer be satisfied by mere charm without substance, or promises without a track record. The respected man's victory isn't accidental. It's architectural. He's built himself into someone worth respecting, and that difference changes everything about how women respond to his presence, his words, and his choices. Because in the end, that look of indifference, that silent killer, is extinguished only by the light of unquestionable self-mastery. If this analysis of masculine respect has challenged your assumptions about what women actually value, then the Aphorism Archive is your new foundation. Subscribe now to unlock more deep dives into the psychology that governs human attraction and self-mastery. Hit that notification bell because understanding these principles could revolutionize how you approach every relationship in your life. Share this video with any man who is tired of wondering why he can't command the respect he craves. Respect is not given. It is attracted by qualities that make it impossible to withhold. Start building your architecture today.